Right, just thought I'd talk about something that seems to get a hell of a lot of negative responses on the Xbox forums. And yes, I'm looking for my TV remote. And that is the Independent Charles Show. And it serves the purpose on Inside Xbox as promoting the indie games. Well, not necessarily all the indie games, but the ones that are worthwhile, because as much as I quite like the indie games section on Xbox Live, there is some true pieces of shit there. I mean, it's like apple bopping, but instead of apples, there's 11 turds in one apple, and it's just digging through the turds to get that apple. The Independent Charles Show kind of it highlights the decent games there. I'll admit now, if it wasn't for the Independent Charles Show, I wouldn't have known about Breath of Death, which is easily one of the most fun games I've played in quite a while. If you didn't know what Breath of Death is, there should be a link in the sidebar or the bottom bit where there's a review that I wrote for Gamers Euphoria. So anyway, the Independent Charles Show, it's designed to look amateurish, odd, and a little bit kooky. I'm guessing they took a little bit of inspiration out of the Mighty Boosh, kind of, like with the quirky weirdness and multicoloured fantasco. But yeah, a lot of people seem to think that the show is serious, that the guy is serious, but I think it's more of a Mickey take, if you will. I think it's supposed to look dodgy to replicate indie games when the majority of them look quite amateurish and dodgy. I might not be right about this, and it's all just my opinion, but like I said, I think it's meant to look like that. So, the Independent Charles Show, it gets a lot of stick for the kind of jokes it does. They're not like sort of straightforward, they're more a bit like, well, what the fuck? That's pretty much how to describe the show is, what the fuck. But a lot of people just seem to see the jokes in it, they don't really look at the purpose the show serves. And I think the purpose the show serves is decent, because a lot of people now just tend, well, a lot of people on Xbox Live tend to not care about the little games. They just want the big games, the Call of Duties, the Halos, the FIFAs. And it's always nice just to say, well, you know, look what the indie guys are doing, the smaller people, the people are trying to get their foot into the door of the games industry. And Independent Charles Show kind of highlights that and tries to bring in the majority. Now, I find that a lot of people on Xbox forums who complain about it are still watching it, and that's quite confusing, because they must be doing something right. The show infuriates some people so much that they request written apologies, yet they'll still watch it. So obviously the show is still engrossing and bringing people in, and I personally find it, the Independent Charles Show, a hell of a lot better than Sent You a Message, because the two guys that present that, I cannot buy them. They try really hard to be zany and funny. The information they give out is really dated and simple. I mean, a quick Google search will tell you. And I think it was last year when they were at E3, they had a highlight show, and it was awful. They didn't do a thing. All they did was walk around the different booths, stand there, do it, that, trying to look like funny and shit. And I was like, well, why? You've been sent to E3, do your job, interview somebody, get some information, don't stand around and look like goons. But that's what they did. Yeah, so I think it's time people just backed off the Independent Charles Show for a little while. You know, it's doing its purpose, and Sent You a Message is far worse. The information's far less needed. It's bad information that, like I said, it's outdated. The two hosts are unbearable, and it seems to be more of like a sketch show than an information show. And they only seem to answer questions which a quick Google search will get you more details on. So yeah, that's my opinion on the Independent Charles Show and Sent You a Message.